Welcome, Collective. Thank you guys very much for joining me today for this tarot read. Alrighty, guys. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. What I wanted to do is a past life read for somebody. So it's going to be someone in the collective. We're going to start with our numbers. We're going to start with our letters. And I'm going to ask my guides to bring forward in the letters and the numbers things that are going to be meaningful or resonate with the people who this past life read is actually for. So if you're recognizing some of the letters, some of the numbers, these have significant meaning to you. This may be your past life read. Okay, so we get started with numbers. We have 18 pop out first. We have 20. We have 12 as well. And we'll keep going here. 13. We have 11. That's weird. We got 11, 12, 13 here. Spirit, can you bring more forward for who this past life read is going to be for? The month of November came forward as well. What else? What else needs to come forward? This one and this one. So we have 9, 8, 24, the month of January, and the month of April came forward. I got told to stop. I'm going to set those aside. And we're going to grab some letters here. So if these are starting to make sense to you, this might be your past life read, guys. The letter I popped forward. We have W. We have C. We'll grab a few more. Let's see. Grab a few more. What else? What else? Come on, Spirit. And that guy went sideways, so that needs to come out too. So we have N came forward. R. B. And L, and I got told to stop. I'm excited to do this read. That's what I'm jacked for. I like doing the past life reads. I like sort of digging into, what somebody maybe went through in their past life, what was going on at the time. So can we please go through that, Spirit? Tell me with who this resonates. Tell me about their past life. Let's see, magnetism. That's interesting. I gotta tell you too, this is speaking to when this person passed over. When you passed over the last time and planning to come back, you had a specific plan in mind. You absolutely did. I can feel it, like looking into the cosmos. I crossed over to the other side, and I'm like getting focused about what I want to do the next time over. What do I want to experience in my next life? Somebody's getting focused with that breath. It was like, it's funny, it was like getting focused before they were born so that they could be born in the right place at the right time to the right parents to experience what they needed. And the outer core. See, even in gravity, I feel it. That's really weird. Even in gravity, I can feel sort of being on the other side. I feel this being on the other side, being in this vast expanse, resting. It's like Spirit taking a rest before getting ready to go again. Tell me about the past life, please. Outer core. This is being ready to come back. This is being ready to come back. I'm ready now. I've rested. I've come back. But tell me about the past life. Tell me about what happened before this. I want to know. Maybe this is even before that. Shit, maybe this is even before that, guys. The sun, blessings. Light. I just keep feeling like somebody has a goal. Somebody had a goal in mind. Somebody was specific about what they were wanting to achieve, what they were wanting to experience. Clarity. I will tell you what I see in this card, though, which I really don't get a lot. I actually get like specific location. Somebody did live in a mountainous region. Somebody did live in a mountainous region. North. I think it was cold. Somebody lived somewhere where it got really cold. What was their north? I feel like this is like North Node too. North Node direction. It keeps tying into all these other cards at top and what somebody specifically had in mind for their life and what they were wanting to live. A specific direction, a specific goal, a specific journey. I think they took a pilgrimage or they like emigrated. But it was over a long distance. Somebody did it over a long distance. And this was actually part of their journey too, was moving over vast expanse. How did they do it? I got told by foot. Somebody went by foot. Can you tell me more about this past life? I will tell you, somebody traveled. It has to do with this music and this joy card. This was part of how they traveled. This was part of how somebody traveled. Um, it's this career, it's this spiritual career, traveling over a long period of time, because I feel like we're spreading a message. We're traveling here to speak here, traveling there to speak there, and we're trying to reach as many people as possible. Trying to reach as much as possible. This was somebody's goal. This was somebody's life. I'm trying to figure out what they did. If it had to do with music, if it had to do with religion or spirituality. They went into some crazy ass places too. Whoever this read is resonating for in your last life, you went into some crazy ass places where people who are where you originated from didn't know nothing about this. They had never met people from there like you went way to hell and gone. Way to hell and gone. Way far past where other people do, into really foreign lands. Like it was an adventure. It was like totally different. Here. You never, this is weird. It's like you never really had anywhere you settled down either. I keep feeling this movement, movement, movement. Like a good portion of your life, you just traveled. You just traveled. Like I don't feel a home. I don't feel like a vision of setting down roots and establishing anything. I just keep feeling like movement, movement. I went where the wind took me. I went on this big adventure. I traveled to places where nobody else had traveled, meeting people who were completely unique and bringing stories, bringing religion. I'm still trying to figure out what you brought with you, why you traveled, what was the purpose behind the traveling. Speaking your word, I swear to God, that's the card that came out. It was for you to speak. But you know what? I keep feeling like this does not just go one way, this card. You wanted to learn from others too. You wanted to learn about their ways. You maybe wanted to learn their language too. I think you spoke a lot of languages. Like you would stay in a place long enough to learn how to speak to people. And it might not have been really fluent. It might have been a little bit more sort of rudimentary, but you could converse in a lot of different languages. You know what? And this was part of what you brought to the next place. You brought experience, you brought stories, you brought another culture with you. So it was like when you went to the next place and met new people, you were able to tell them about all the places you had been and about all the people you had met before. You were like a storyteller. Keep feeling you were like a storyteller when you traveled like this. Tell me more, please. Cave protection. Cave protection. We have a wind change. Maybe you just went where the wind carried you. I think you went into some places where people were not particularly welcoming. They might have been just really superstitious people. Some people did not welcome you. You were a foreigner and your ideas were different and you just brought something that was too different that just scared the crap out of them. It was too weird. It was too weird for them. It was too different. It was too scary. And I think sometimes you got chased out of wherever you went to. Man, I think you had some colorful ass adventures in what you did. Please tell me more, Spirit. Tell me more about somebody's past life. Well, oh, absolutely. Plant growth. You evolved in your way of thinking and your view of the world in a way that few and nobody else did at that time because you took this journey. Right? Journey and experiences expand our mind. They expand our way of being. They expand our view of the world. And that's exactly what you did. Like I said, like you had a perspective that very few had. I feel like you were very open to what other people had to say. You were open to other cultures, maybe other religions, not necessarily that you believed it, but you enjoyed learning about it and sort of absorbing that and being able to share that with others too was important to you. I don't think it's like you found this fascination with it. I think very few people of your time would have used that word, fascination. I think most people of that time would have been like what this cave card represented. They would have been fearful of something different. They would have shunned something different. They wouldn't have been open to it. But you wanted to experience the richness of the cultures of the planet and the area that you were in. That's what you saw it as. You saw the knowledge and the differences that these people possessed as richness to enrich your life. And you wanted to bring that to others in teaching and spreading that word. Can you give me one more, please? Lake depth. I will tell you too. Ooh, I don't like that card. I think you ran into the wrong spot somewhere along the way. Because even through all these travels, I don't necessarily feel you. I don't necessarily feel you getting really old. I feel like you died somewhere on your travels. You died somewhere on your travels in this past life. So I don't feel like you ever really got to, maybe you didn't feel like you got to complete what you were trying to do. Because I keep thinking, I got this lake and this depth, and you can see the figure in that card in the lake. So I'm not sure if you had an accident on your travels and you passed away, or if this had to do with maybe running into people who were not quite so friendly and they kind of helped you along. But I do feel like it was on your journey. But it's funny too, because I don't get this sense of I never reached where I was wanting to go. Because I don't think in your past life you ever had a destination in mind. I keep feeling like I'm going to travel. I'm just going to travel, and I'm going to go as far as I can in one direction, and then I'm going to go as far as I can in another direction. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. So you never had an end destination in mind. You were just looking to be like this plants card, just continual growth for the rest of your life until you stop breathing. That was your goal. That was your goal. And I feel like you really you really did it. You did it. You got a perspective on life and on the people on this planet that at that time, few to no one had. Few to nobody had, because people weren't really open to it. You had just a completely different way of thinking that I think freaked a lot of people out and probably wasn't very popular with a lot of different cultures and probably religions as well, because you were just so radically open to learning whatever came your way, cultures, customs, religions, everything. You were just open to all of it. Yeah, you might have a penchant for traveling in this life as well, and maybe not really know why you've always been drawn to traveling, because this is part of it. Your soul is hungry for knowledge. Your soul is just hungry to find out everything that it possibly can about everything, about everyone, how the world works, all the different cultures, how people live, what they believe. I don't think that ended in this life. I think you still feel that with this new life as well. I want to grab a tarot deck and sort of delve into more of what happened during your past life, which, okay, you're the one. That's not the one I expected, I'll be honest with you. You got the Witch's Tarot here. So Spirit, can you please bring us more clarification about what this person experienced in this past life that we're talking about right now? The Star card. See, that was like your North Node, was exploration and learning, knowledge. Yeah, the Hermit, knowledge, like Odin. Like this wandering traveler looking for wisdom, always looking for wisdom, always looking for something new to learn, always want to know why, always so curious about why. It's funny, I have the Five of Cups here. I know what this card represents, but it just doesn't fit, and it doesn't feel like that meaning fits. I don't think you ever got attached to one thing, one place. I doubt that you were, I got to tell you, I doubt you were married or had kids in this life. I don't think the family situation was ever a part of this life. I keep feeling like you were solo in this life. It may have been lonely at times, but I still feel like you felt in that life what you gained, the experience and the knowledge vastly outweighed any of that. Because it was your North Node. That was absolutely your North Node, was to do all of that. Karma. As funny in this karma card, I keep feeling like some of this bleeds over into this life. This need to travel, this need to learn, this open, there it is, Six of Swords. I don't know if you're thinking about traveling now, or you've had this itch to go traveling that you can't explain. It's like this itch that you felt in this past life and this need to go and to seek knowledge and have experiences. It's like it's coming back. It's coming back. It's funny, Three of Swords. Now the Page of Wands. Who are you? I feel friend vibe in this Page of Wands. Friendliness, friend, friend, friend. But I don't feel current, and I feel like it ties into Three of Swords. So I'm not sure if this is a friendship that came to an end, or if this is like a friend who's maybe recently passed away. Maybe it was somebody who encouraged you to travel when you guys spoke about it and was like, well, why don't you? Why don't you go traveling? Why don't you da-da-da-da-da-da? Whoever this is, it's funny because it's like I feel them with you, but I don't. Because if that makes any sense, it's like they're a part of your life, but they're not there. Oh, and then I do have the Temperance Angel. I think this is somebody who passed away and somebody who you were close to and somebody who you had a deep bond or a friendship with. They're encouraging you to do this traveling. If you want to go traveling, they're encouraging you to do this traveling. Do this pilgrimage. Do another round in this life. This person is sort of watching you from the other side as a guardian angel. They are dedicated to being one of your guides now in this life. That's funny too. This Page of Wands, whoever this represents, who you've lost in this lifetime, this was a connection from your past life and somebody you met on your travels. It may have been somebody who you even traveled with for a period of time in your past life. This is somebody who understands your soul's desire to travel and have experiences. That's wild. That's wild. And even now, if they're on the other side, they're encouraging this part of you to step forward and for you to embrace this in the here and now. Yeah, because I think you guys got separated in that past life. I feel you guys had a really tight connection. I don't feel romance though in it. This would have been a friendship. This would have been a deep friendship who you had with this person. Like I said, you might have traveled together for a period of time. You built a very tight bond with whoever this is. And I feel like when that bond ended in the last life, traveling felt a little bit more lonely. It didn't stop you and it didn't become less fulfilling, but you definitely missed having this connection with whoever this Page of Wands is. And it's funny because it's like they've left you. They've left you a second time and this life too, but they're still encouraging you traveling and sort of taking this leap. It's like watching you from the other side. This person has decided to be your guardian angel on the other side now. And I think they were in the other life too. The Empress. That Empress. I keep feeling like she was actually somebody in a position of authority. I don't know if you traveled on her behalf, like this was part of what you did, and maybe you sent back information about things. Maybe she represents like a monarchy, right? Like a queen or a king figure. And this was part of your job that you were to go out and see, all the people in the land and gain the stories and gain the info. It's funny, I don't feel you tied to one place. This might have been a piece of what you did in that last life and a piece of some of your traveling. This was not the culmination of all of your traveling, no. It was like your talents being sort of put into service. So somebody asking you to do this. You got paid for it. I think you got paid well. This might have funded some of your traveling, but like I said, this was not the be all end all of what you did. This journey that you took, this North Node journey in your past life, this was yours. This was yours. This was in your soul, and it was something that you needed to do. You felt like you needed to do it. This was a part of your destiny. This Empress sort of funding a piece of that was just a leg of the journey. It was just sort of a way of helping out. But your journey was always to keep moving. This might. Yeah, and that's funny. I just keep feeling you had no destination in mind. You took life as it came. I think you stumbled into this Empress's job to somewhere along the way. Like that was not an on purpose thing. And you just kind of like stumbled into it and it helped you on your journeys. But you never had some end goal in mind. You were just like, I'm going to go until I can't go anymore. Because my pursuit is just knowledge. I have this never ending pursuit of knowledge. Hmm. And it's funny, I have the Death card next to the Page of Cups, and this Page of Cups is surrounded by water, just like this depth in this lake card, and I keep feeling that dying while traveling. It had something to do with the water. I think you drown. I think you drowned. I don't know if you were traveling through winter and sort of like fell through the ice, or if this has to do with traveling on a boat and maybe you fell off the boat or there was a storm. But that's how you passed away in your past life. It was while you were traveling, and it has to do with water. I think you drowned. I think you drowned. I'm not sure if this was, oh, and that would make sense with it coming forward with this card. With these ones here, it could have been this job for the Empress. And sort of the last thing that it could have been the last thing you stumbled into in this job. And this Empress, whoever this figure was, and I do feel like this was most likely like monarchy or sort of like that kind of like higher up hierarchy leadership. It was like they hired you to do some traveling, to find some information, and then to bring it back to them. And you're like, as long as I'm traveling and I'm learning, that's awesome. And now I get paid for it. Hell, why not? I think it was the last trip you took because I think it involved traveling on water. And that's where you passed away. That's freaking wild, guys. Can you give me maybe one or two more cards to talk about this person's past life, please, Spirit? Page of Swords. Yeah, you were a seeker of information your entire life. Information, learning, and experience was your Ace of Cups. It was your Ace of Cups. It was your abundance. It was your happiness. It was your passion. It was your love, justice, and balance. And you want to continue it. Your soul wants to continue it. Whether you realize it or not, your soul will find a way to get you to do that in this life too. That's funny. Four of Wands and Three of Cups. I'll tell you this too. This Four of Wands is usually about sort of stability. That's stability. Just setting down roots or solid foundation. I don't feel like you had a solid foundation in your past life. I feel like you always traveled. You enjoyed traveling. Obviously, you would have probably had to grow up somewhere, unless you grew up traveling as well and your parents were kind of that. But you wanted to travel. In your adult life, you never set down roots in any one place for any length of time. You never had family situations. You always had friends. You always had camaraderie. You had a really good one in this Page of Wands. This was somebody who you were really tight with on your journeys and your travels. And I do feel like that past life connection came back in this life too. And you're getting encouraged to do the same thing. You're getting encouraged to pursue travels in this life. Absolutely. Like those past life connections, I'm going to tell you, this is probably going to sound really weird and really wild. If you pursue what your soul is trying to get you to pursue in this traveling, you will keep running into your past life connections. Those people who you met traveling, the ones who were just like a soul bond, who you felt close to, it'll happen again. So if you go traveling, you go do your things, you run into someone where you just feel like this weird instant connection, like you've known them from another life, you have, and you met them on your travels before. And in your next life, if your soul is still wanting to pursue this, chances are you'll meet up with those people again in more or less the same way. Traveling, experience, learning. And it's wild. I just keep feeling like, especially with this Justice card, I wasn't done. I wasn't done. I wasn't done traveling yet. I wasn't done experiencing things yet. I still want more. It's like your soul still wants more. So if any of the numbers, the months, the letters resonate with you guys, if that unexplainable pull to travel and experience the world and different cultures, if that is pulling to you guys, this is your read. It's because your soul did that in the past life. Your soul recognizes that travel and that experience as its north node. And that doesn't change no matter what body it lives in. That doesn't change. That is still its north node in this life. So this would be your read. You were a traveler. You experienced things. You learned things. You brought information from one culture to another. Your goal and your pursuit and where you always wanted to be in life was just to learn as much as possible. Your soul died while traveling, doing what it loved to do. And I feel like it wants to get back into it in this one too, guys, in this life. Alrighty, everyone. Take care.